So I want male participant to rise. Those male participants, please rise. When I say rise, really rise, it's, yeah, that way. Everybody in the back also, please rise. Male participant. And make enough noise for female participants. You can keep standing for 5 seconds because those who are really standing throughout the talk, they should not feel bad. You can take your seats. Now, female participant, please rise. Okay. Now it's a small number, but good number. So now you have to cheer up for the male participant. Yeah, you can take your seats. So are we on? Okay, fine. 1 minute, okay. So let's do the routine, yeah. Technology, right? That's not GenAI generated. So repeat after me with claps. Gotilo, Gotilo. I can't hear you guys. Gotilo, claps. Where are the claps? Yeah. Gotilo, Gotilo. GenAI na jamana ma job gotilo. But you don't have to worry. Your jobs are not going anywhere. You guys are not going anywhere. Next year we are meeting again. If they allow me, they will let me speak also, right? They won't put a robot here. And again we'll sing the same song. Which one? जोर से यार, बहुत खाना खिलाया अभी, जोर से. Okay. So the thing is, focus on the future. Yeah, don't worry too much about present. Present, everybody is employed, right? Recently laid off, anybody? No? Okay. It's coming. It's coming. Fine. तो उत्तरायण ना बगड़े नहीं, थोड़ी तैयारी रखजो. Because everywhere I go, I see like people are getting laid off. But then they are getting hired again. And in Gujarat, they open up their own company. Right? So Gujarat, Gujarati and Garba, you don't have to worry about anything. These 3 things will cover your life. If you ask me for the drink, we can't give you. What we have is buttermilk. So live with that, fine. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now who is the elephant? I'm not talking about myself now. Though I am fat, people ask me like, how are you? I said, I'm fat. And then they'll repeat, oh, you are really fat, you know. But I'm trying. So this elephant is AI. But don't worry about this. It's just morning, my friend. If you want coffee, I can serve you coffee. I'm not that bad. Okay. This happens every year though. Fine. And throughout next 15 minutes, if you don't look at your mobile, I've done my job, which I have been doing for last many years. Okay, so anybody is still using Wikipedia? How many? Oh, there are few. Okay, so those are like old school, or their schools are old. So this guy is saying that, okay, AI will reach to this stage, will reach to superhuman stage in 50 years. I give you 5 years. Fine? Because in IT, things are different. And everybody has got that kida, right? That urge. Let me do something new. And everybody else suffers. Right? Okay. Now here, I respect all 3. Modi ji, then this guy Narayan Murthy sir, and then this guy also, Bill Gates. But चाचा को बोलिए करना क्या है भाई? कितने घंटे काम करना है? मुझे last year, I got one award last year, 24/7 resource. The guy who is available with a single message 24/7. Now don't get me wrong, I am married, I have a kid too. Fine? But that thing happened before 23 years back. So don't feel I am like tired of that thing, but still I am available. Now, Modi ji बोल रहे 24 घंटा काम करना है. My heart works 24 hours on record. Fine? Now, Narayan Murthy ji is not able to make up his mind. He's saying 70 hours. Everybody was crying. Like we are used to 5 days a week. If you do 5 days a week, you will be in audience. If you do more than that, you will be speaker. And if you do maybe more than that, you will become politician. You get the joke, right? Okay. It's very hard when you have to explain it. Then Bill Gates. Now this guy is saying that 3-day work week is possible. So 3-day official work week is 24 hours. So from 24-hour daily to 24-hour weekly, I am not able to make up my mind. Let me know. Now here, this is India context, right? So I respect this guy also. What he is saying is, now this is important, don't replace. We'll do a small experiment also. Then AI should, now suddenly with AI, this guy got gyan, that now the Paytm should use AI also. I don't know for what, right? But still. And the last one is minister. What he's saying is, we won't allow untrusted thing. Let's see what happens. Okay. So can we take a picture like this? Romin sir, is Romin sir around? Yeah, in the audience? Yeah, please come. Let's recreate the magic. This is from 2014. Some of you might have not born. I'm just exaggerating. I want exact same look. And I'll do this. This is my better profile. I'm just joking. So this is me with GDE. Genius, hit it for GDE. Loud. Thank you. I'm scared of this guy, you know. He is like covering me from all the angles. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sir.
I will take over now.
No, you'll get a chance. Yeah, we were just recreating. Sorry about that. Okay, so thing is, my first run-in, I'll go a little faster. Tell me the time thing, okay? Because otherwise I'll go on and on. My first run-in with AI was 25 years back. So most of you were not born, and rest were in this mode, wireframe mode. So your parents they were planning something, right? They were discussing whether to have next generation developer or not. You know, so that was the phase that was going on. In India, we feel like this is for life, you know, looking at the population. Now, do we have the cake? Oh, I forgot. Event guy, where is the event guy? Do we have event team here? Yeah, anybody? Please come forward. I need a little help. Okay, so while we are doing this, so those things are there. How many mobile app developers? Front end. Okay. Are you guys good looking? Okay. So no offense to back-end developer. How many of you are back-end developer? Okay, I find you guys to be good looking too. Now, where is the AI in this, right? That's the question. So there are a few companies which are mobile first, there are web first, and then there are AI first, right? Hit it for Vishal. Loud. Woo! So what I'm trying to establish is, there is room for everyone. But don't marry to a technology. We are too small to marry to a single technology. Front end किया तो बस lifetime front end करेंगे ऐसा नहीं है. Back end किया तो API से मैं आगे नहीं जाऊँगा ऐसा नहीं होता है भाई, right? थोड़ा DevOps भी कर लो. Then you will realize why they are there, right? And then this AI model, data and everything would come, icing on the cake. So what I was trying to get from the event team is if they can coordinate with the hotel team and bring the cake, yeah. Okay, so Gemini, I'm Virgo. So that doesn't matter who I am or what I am, but they introduced this. Have you used this? Anybody? In like last 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, 2 months? I don't know, right? So amazing product again. Now mimic human, transform and bias. So what AI is trying to do? Mimicking humans and trying to go beyond what humans can do. Transform the way we work. So that is exactly what device is doing. They feel that in a day, a developer who is telling me that they can just convert 2 screens design into something, they should do 10, right? Yeah, he's laughing. So he is not after you or he is not after your job. He wants you to work smart. That's all he wants. Right, Vishal? Yes. Then jobs. Now I want to do a little experiment here. I need 3 volunteers. Please come very fast with 3 chairs. जिसके पास चेयर है जल्दी आ जाइए, आप लोग 3 आ जाइए. Let's do a little experiment very quickly with speakers. आ जाइए, आप आ जाइए, चेयर ले लीजिए किसी एक का. So I hired these people. I'll just spell out because otherwise maybe I don't know उनका एक्टिंग का कैसा है, तो बैठिए. So I hired these people last year around June. ठीक है, कम नवंबर GenAI आया तो मैंने बोला कि भाई आप खड़े हो जाइए, आप यहाँ पे आ जाइए. आपको बोला आप खड़े हो जाइए, आप वहाँ पे आ जाइए. अभी यहाँ बैठा कौन? कोई नहीं. AI. फाइन, यू आर गेटिंग इट नाउ. अभी फिर से बिठाया, बैठिए. 6 महीना और हो गया, 1 साल और हो गया, बैठ गए फिर से. अभी ये लोग क्या करेंगे? AI एंड स्मार्ट वर्क. पता चला कहाँ जा रही दुनिया. ठीक है, तो जॉब्स नहीं जा रही. जॉब का जो दायरा है, जॉब का जो आपका KPI क्या आ रहे हैं, आप जो कर रहे हैं वो चेंज हो रहा है. थैंक यू. आई हैव लिटिल समथिंग फॉर यू, यू विल गेट आफ्टर द टॉक. ओके. नाउ ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस, jobs and deepfake. Where is Paresh and JD? I need their help. JD, Paresh, anybody? Anybody from the team? No? Okay, I'll wait. Yeah, please come. Where is JD? JD is there? I can't see JD. Anybody can come. Please come, Paresh bhai, I'm not feeling well. Oh, JD, please come. I am not feeling well, remember? He is not getting it. Okay, so please hold me. I am not feeling well, Paresh bhai. Please come very fast, JD. I know you are married, but then... Okay.
Someone please call the 108.
Oh, okay, thank you. So what we did is live deepfake. Okay. As long as you are getting the joke, we are in business. So duet AI, solo and duet. I can't sing anything, I can't dance, I can just talk, and that's the reason I'm here. Who can sing? Who think they can sing? Even karaoke, okay, even karaoke, right? Karaoke, whatever you call it. So Hunger Games. Now, those who are in AI, how many of you are already doing AI? One way or the other. This is for you, Vishal, also. World meters. I used to go to that website every day when COVID was on. Like numbers, right? Every day that number increasing. Number of people getting COVID and number of people we are losing. According to world meters, last data is 20,000 people are losing their lives every day because of hunger. So my only challenge, and I'm not big enough to throw challenge, but my only challenge to you guys are just figure out the solution of hunger. Let's make that a good start. Everything else is fine. Ethics, bias, and security. So I don't know how much the word ethic means when you run a business. Then bias, yes. Gender bias, region, border, language, country, recency, decency, all kind of biases are there. And then security, privacy. I told you before as well in some of my talks, when you are online, just forget about privacy. There's nothing private there. Then, okay, we must do this openly. That is required. Then challenges. What are challenges in front of you? So pollution, population. Another one I told you is Hunger Games, right? There are a lot of things. Diversity, yes, we have enough diversity. And please hit it for those who are standing right now. So some of them are participants, some of them are volunteers, some of them are sponsors, and some of them are people who believe in Indian time. Okay, what's this guy's name? Anyone? He's known as Future. So Google that guy. And my prediction about future, I already told you in the beginning, jobs are here to stay, so is AI. You need to live with it. It's the elephant in the room. Have you ever seen this happening? Something is blossoming, something is getting a shape. Have you ever seen that? How many of you have seen this process ever? Okay, very few. How many HRs are here? Okay. So please sir, अपने डेवलपर को ये भी देखने का मौका दीजिए. There is a life beyond AI. Okay, so when we are doing this, I am thanking you all to be part of this journey. There might be just one or two slides. Last one, guy on the right, I share a nickname with him. I don't look like that, but then Chiku, and then Sundar, and then there is Ati Sundar on left, but with a message, no wastage. No wastage of bandwidth, no wastage of time, no wastage of AI model, no wastage of data, no wastage of nothing. Let's just talk business. Fine? So with this, I'm just signing off, and you need to help me with two things. When I say mano mano, you have to chant mano mano. Is Priyanka in? Oh wow, then we'll do Priyanka. Let's do Priyanka. Priyanka. अरे भाई आटला बड़ा मानस हो यार शू करो जो शी इज कमिंग ऑल द वे फ्रॉम यूएस रिस्पेक्ट हर प्रियंका विशाल इज कमिंग फ्रॉम सूरत डू विशाल प्रियंका ओके विशाल प्रियंका प्लीज कम हियर आई हैव समथिंग फॉर यू This is again not GenAI product. Somebody human has created this. On the record, this is a job opportunity for you. अरे भाई तुम्हें बोलो हम फरी ने करता था करो ना मस्त करो ना.
What is this?
This is just handmade thing. You can put anything. Maybe a small memory from us.
Great, thank you.
There's another one job opportunity coming to you. Okay, this is for Vishal. Hit it for Vishal one more time. And hit it for Priyanka also. So I am with Google and I am with device. I am lucky person for the day. Thank you.
Great. Okay, well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. And this is such a big crowd. I'm always excited when I visit India because I know you all watch a lot of the stuff that I create, and it's always exciting to meet you all in person. So thank you for so much love, and so much love every time I'm here. Today, I thought we can spend some time just talking a little bit about all the things we're hearing about generative AI and how we can prepare ourselves to be in the world of generative AI. So with that, can I get to next slide? Oh, great, thank you. Not working. We will get this working. Okay, great. We've talked about me, so, but for those who are here for the first time and have not known me, let me give you a very quick, brief intro. My name is Priyanka Vergadia. I am a developer advocate, and I create educational content to get you familiar with Google Cloud, all the different types of products that we have. And over the last few months, obviously, I've been also focusing on generative AI, like all of you. So I'm happy to bring you a little bit of all of my learnings on generative AI and how to prepare. So with that, let's dive in. I want to start off, before we get into how to learn and get into the world of generative AI, I want to start a little bit with, there are some myths about generative AI, and there are some things about AI in general that that I wanted to burst the myths for. So the first thing is that this will take all of our jobs. And hopefully you have by now realized that it will not. But if you haven't, let me break this to you, that it will not take your jobs. Generative AI is going to make all of us a lot more efficient in what we do. It will make us a lot more empowered in saving our time and doing things that we enjoy doing more of, and creatively, and just have more of the monotonous work, more of the easier stuff that we all don't enjoy doing, have AI do it. So hopefully you all see it that way, but I wanted to make sure that if you don't, it's really not going to take our jobs. It's going to help us become better, and if you're not realizing that, the more you use it, the more you'll realize that. Second, only data science experts can use or be in this world of generative AI. That's not true, and you will see a lot more of this in my rest of the presentation, where I'll talk about you can have any job and use generative AI, or you can be in any role and create applications that use generative AI. So if you're here and you stick around with me for the rest of the 15, 20 minutes, I will share more about that. The third and the last myth I will burst is, and there's more of these that I've written in a blog in the longer forms. If you're interested in learning more, I'll send you some links for that towards the very end. Training custom AI models is always very expensive and resource intensive. Although if the word always was removed from here, then yes, training these models is very expensive, but not always. And here's the case when it's not very expensive. If you're using models that are already created by somebody else, you're using a pre-trained model, all you're doing is updating it for your use cases, then it's actually not very expensive to use generative AI. So hopefully this helps to just set the ground, set the stage for what we are going to see and hear for the rest of the time. Now, I don't expect you to read this slide, but I will spend a lot of time on this slide because this is the most important thing. If you don't take away anything from the presentation today, and you just spend with me, just hear me for 5-ish minutes on this slide, this is what I want you to take away from this presentation. Anywhere you sit in the job ladder, in your job role, you can use generative AI. If you go from left to right, there are people who are, if you've used Bard, if you've used ChatGPT, all the things where you can just ask a question and get a response, you can be in any role and use generative AI with those tools, right? And that is the assistance, the out-of-the-box things that anybody and everybody would be enabled to use. You don't have to be a developer, but you can use generative AI. Now, when you are working in companies, think about the roles that your program managers are doing, or any other roles where the person isn't a developer. That's how you enable them to use generative AI. As you come down towards the do-it-yourself side, that's when you need a lot of the machine learning and AI-related knowledge, being a data scientist and all of that. But before we get there, let me walk through some of the other things. So why are you all here today? You're here so you can understand what can you do to use generative AI in the best way possible to become the best version of yourself and to be the best in your job, in your role that you're doing today. You might fall in one of these buckets today. If you're a developer, which most of you are, raise your hands if you're a developer. Great, most of this room is somewhere here, in the center. We know how to code, we know how to build applications. So we are in the center. Some of you might be machine learning engineers and experts. Raise your hand if you are. Okay, maybe like 1/4 of this room. You're here, in this side. How many of you are data scientists, ML engineers who've actually built models and shipped it in production? Great. Very few of you are here. The reason for those raise of hands was to just understand where we are and how to use it. So great, we're not here. Perfect. We can help our companies use generative AI for roles that are here. So you are the ones who have to take that charge to help your companies think through use cases where other parts of your company and other people who are not developers, how can you enable and help and empower them with these things, right? Now, because most of us are in this category, let me talk a little bit about this. So if you are a developer, you don't have machine learning skills right now, let's say you're in this category, you know how to code, you are somebody who can use APIs that are machine learning APIs, somebody else have built them, but you can utilize them to create applications that are powered by machine learning. So in this case, you don't need to be an ML engineer or an expert, because let's say you don't want to be an ML engineer or an expert. Not everybody has to be an ML engineer or a machine learning or an AI engineer. But because we are developers, we can consume the APIs that are already available. These are the APIs, if you're familiar with Google Cloud quite a bit, you would know that we have APIs for text and chat and images, all the common structured, unstructured use cases. There are we've already created APIs that you can use to power applications that look through images, that search through video content, that can look at texts and understand sentiments and entities in that text. You can already build applications as a developer using AI tools that are out there. Now, if you want to go further, now this is where you have to think through your careers, right? You have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to grow your skills in the AI ML space? Most of us probably want to. And then once you learn on how to use generative AI in this category, because you're a developer, you can very easily do this. All it takes is consume APIs, and we've all done that as developers. So you build applications. We also have conversational AI and the generative AI studio that is in this category. So you can build applications with it. Now comes this part, which is we are trying to now get into or improve or increase our skills in machine learning and AI. So now we are in the sphere where we want to modify some models. We take an existing model, and this is the category of GenAI Studio, where if you've already been into Vertex AI, GenAI Studio, you know there's a Palm 2 model that exists. You know there's a Gemini model that exists, or any other models from Meta, Llama, Code Llama, other models, that the Coheres, all of those models that exist today, and you want to take that model and apply it to your company's business use case, right? Now you're getting into the territory of not just using the API, but starting to learn how machine learning works, how you take one of the APIs, already existing models, and then add some of your data to create a customized model that works for your use case. So let's say I take the Palm 2 text model, and I now want to bring in the customer data from your specific company. Let's say you're in healthcare, or you're just doing customer service for a travel agency or a travel company. You bring in the very specific travel-related data from your company, and now you're customizing this model. You're increasing your skills in becoming an AI ML engineer. You're still not there with being a data scientist, right? But you're increasing your skills in how to use machine learning for a specific use case. And so now you've developed from just being a developer who can consume the APIs that already exist from the machine learning models, to now become somebody who understands how models work, how to create a custom model, and in this process, you'll also deploy this model and serve it so that now this model has become an API for somebody else on your team who is in this category to now consume that API as a developer in shipping an application that your company is working on. that's how you go from the middle tier to the second, to the APIs category, and now you've built and developed your ML and AI chops. Now the last is where you really are wanting to become a machine learning and data science expert, and this is where you're dealing with what type of infrastructure do I need? I'm going to build the model myself. Now you're building your own models, not just customizing models, and you now have the ability to understand how to operationalize the model, because it's not just about building a model. The most part of the model is how do you maintain it? How do you make sure that it is relevant even after a few months the data has changed? You have to monitor it. You have to continuously make sure it hasn't drifted away from what the intention of the model was, because the data has changed over time. And it takes what is called as ML ops, or machine learning operations, which is sort of DevOps, but for machine learning models, right? So now, when you are in that category, that's the type of stuff you're working on, creating, productionizing, making sure that the model doesn't drift away, and all the ML ops things. So you're in that category. Now, I would say that most companies, it's very hard to be in this category. And if you are, you're obviously an expert. But at the same time, most companies and most use cases don't require creating a very customized machine learning model. You don't want to be in the business of building models and maintaining them, because it is extremely costly to do that. So for most companies that we work for, you probably don't need to be knowing all of that stuff. But it's good to know. It's great. I'm showing this more so from we as engineers. If we want to be in this category, this is obviously a very great spot to be in terms of skill sets. But at the same time, if you are suggesting your company to use machine learning models or build them, you probably don't want to suggest doing this. If you can be using a model that already exists or somebody has already built and customize it, you probably want to be in the third and the fourth bucket instead of the last one, just because of the expense it brings and the amount of effort it takes. You need an entire teams when you are in that last category. So just know that. So I've covered sort of the spectrum of, from your perspective as a career, as where you are, but also from the perspective of how you need to convince your teams or where they are, and how you need to suggest and recommend what they can do with AI and generative AI. Okay, so I saw that some of you have taken screenshots. Great. Because this is what I want you to take away from this entire chat. Okay, next. Now, so I have 5 more minutes left is what I'm seeing. So I'm going to go through this part a little quickly, because you might have already seen a lot of this in the past, but I will distinguish a little bit between, when it comes to Google, we have 2 different types of AI, right? One is, you've heard about Bard and Make a Suite, or studios. That is the category for consumers. For you and me, everybody in the world, don't need to know AI. Just you know how to do your jobs, and you're just asking questions to help you become better in your jobs. That's that consumer category. Most of us, because we are developers, we work for companies who want to build things that will work for other people. And so we fall into this category because we are working for enterprises that are going to use AI for specific use cases, which is where Google Cloud comes into picture, because that's the infrastructure and the categories that we saw in the previous slide. So we can use all of that, including Vertex and Duet AI, which you have been hearing about quite a bit from the Google Cloud enterprise perspective. So I just wanted to make that distinction very clear, because that's how they distinguish, and this is the platform. So Google, the way, and think about it from Google's perspective, or in general AI ML perspective, you need the infrastructure as the base layer. You need the GPUs, the TPUs that will run and create these models, and then at the top of it, the blue part is the Vertex AI, which is the platform that we've built to make it easy to operationalize the machine learning models that you build or the models that you customize. And then once you've built the models, you need to serve them, and that's the infrastructure. I have no idea what's happening, but it'll come up. But what Vertex AI is that end-to-end platform. You're building the model, you're serving it, and you're making sure that you have the infrastructure to have the applications call this. Because when you're operationalizing the model, you probably know for the most part how many calls you're going to get to this model, right? So if this is like hundreds of thousands of calls per second, per minute, you need the infrastructure it's like an application. You need the infrastructure to be able to run it. So you need compute and storage and all of those things to run this. Are we getting it back? Okay. So the last part, which was on my slide when it comes back, is the Duet AI piece, right? How do we, not just Duet AI, but any applications that are built on top of it? So there's always an abstraction. So think about abstractions. The first layer was the infrastructure, the least abstracted layer. The second layer is how do we make that infrastructure easily accessible so you can create these models easily, and operationalize them. That's the Vertex AI layer. Now, on top of that is the use case layer, right? So now you think through use cases of the contact center AI, the document AI, like just very specific use cases. That's the top layer, less abstract, the most abstraction. And then Duet AI, which is the piece where we're basically customizing the model to work for a Google Cloud user. So if you're using Google Cloud, how do you make it easier and better to become an efficient cloud user? That's what the Duet AI is. And I was going to show you, if the slides don't come up, I'll just keep going. I was going to show you how we built Duet AI, because I think that is the part that's going to help you internalize and think through how you will use all of this infrastructure in Vertex and the TPUs and GPUs at Google to build your own versions of agents on top of this infrastructure. That's how we built Duet AI. And you'll learn a lot more about Duet AI and other things from Roman and other folks that are going to have more presentations. But I wanted to give you the behind-the-scenes experience of it. Is it going to come back? Okay. And so there is... I wish there were visuals, but because I am so visual that I wanted to show you how it comes up. So maybe in like a minute, but I'll still keep going. So there are the way you build and train machine learning models. The reason why I was saying that last category, you don't want to be in that for the most part, at least as long as you can try not to be in that building and creation of the models. Obviously, we also tried to not be in that when we built Duet AI. And I want to show you how we accomplished that. Great, we're here. We're in business. Okay, I'm going to skip through some of this because I think you know a lot of this, but I will also go back if we need to. But in the interest of time, okay, I'm going to spend some time here. This is what I was talking about. So we took a lot of the data. So imagine we are in the fourth bucket, which the slide that I was showing earlier. We wanted to use the APIs that we already have, the models that we already have, and we used Palm when we began. So we started using Palm, and we wanted to customize Palm to work for Google Cloud specific use cases. So we are still in that fourth category. We don't want to be in the business of the fifth category of building our own models. We took that foundational model, Palm. The gray part is that. We collected a lot of the data for Google Cloud, from Google Cloud database, data in all the different places. We had the Coursera courses, we have tons of blogs, the videos that our teams create, all of this very rich data, and the documentation, which is a large amount of data, right? We took all of that, we created a data pipeline from there, we cleaned up the data, so we customized this data set. So this is all the cleaning. We distinguished it between high quality and low quality. So something that's on Stack Overflow is, let's say, lower quality than something that we've written. Our teams have written, our technical writers have written. So that's the distinction. And we wrote some of the questions ourselves to give the model an idea of how we want the tone to be, how should it respond when a question for gcloud command is asked. We want some text, then we want the command, then we want some more text. All of that stuff goes into this category. And then we combined it with the foundational model and created a domain-trained and instruction-tuned model, which was, again, we didn't create the whole thing from scratch. We used the foundational model. That's where you want to be. And then, because somebody else is maintaining that. We are not. We're just using it. So that's when we came to this, which is our candidate model. We felt like this is the right model. Now we go to human reinforcement learning. We have some humans test it, and we do thumbs up, thumbs down, what could be better in this answer, and then we use all of that. That goes through the whole loop of a large number of humans testing, and then we do some offline evaluations on it, and then it goes into becoming the best model candidate that goes live. And that model then has to be monitored and keep tuned so that it doesn't digress from what we want it to be, the answers. And then the guardrails part is the most important, because how do we want to handle certain questions, right? All of the things go in the guardrail. If it hallucinates, what do we want to do? And so those are the things that go into guardrails, more of the logic. So not just once the model responds back, we have another layer of API that looks through all that. That's the guardrails. And then you get the response to the user. So hopefully this helps you understand the entire life cycle of how you tune a model in that fourth category that we saw. I think this is very inspiring. We took about 8 to 9 months to launch Duet AI. And it was only possible because we used foundational model. So the takeaway from here is you want to help your teams make decisions that are great, so you can do machine learning and AI faster in your companies. Okay, time is very short. You want to do it responsibly as well, and we have lots of responsible AI things that we have a list of, and if you just search for Google responsible AI, you will get that list, so I will spare you from that. Key takeaways: everyone in your company can use AI and can be enabled by AI. I told you how to do that with that big slide in the 5 categories. You can make your career shift from one to the other. We are all in the developer categories in this room, but we can shift into ML and AI if you choose to do that. And I told you ways to start developing in that category. Or you can go from left to right, and you can help your companies start to use AI in the roles and areas where people are not developers. That's how we make a difference. That's how we use our skills to enable everybody to be better. If you want to give the things that I mentioned, Vertex AI and Duet AI, a try, go to this link and give it a try. If you just want to start learning, try GenAI. Okay, I'll let you take pictures. Done? Okay, it's just Google/try GenAI. And then these are some of the courses that our teams have prepared to get you into generative AI. If you haven't already started, generative AI for developers learning path, if you look for it, that should be the first link that pops up. And then my team recently launched Duet AI for Google Cloud as well. So if you want to get to know a little more about Duet AI, you have a large number of courses, about 7 that you can start with. Okay, with that, thank you very much. And Mano will join next.
So let's do this little routine. When I say one, you clap once. When I say two, you clap twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Loud. If you really like, you can stand up too. That's fine, you know.
Thank you, everybody.
It's just start of the day. Yeah, please do that.
Oh, thank you
At
very
least
much.
we can do this. Yeah, loud. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka. And now repeat after me. Mano. Mano.
Mano.
Why you stop? Yeah.
Mano.
Please do it. Show some love for Mano. Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you.
Okay, hi everybody. Hi, people at the back. Hello. And also thank you to a lot of people who are standing because they could not get a chair. And thank you for bearing with us throughout the time. Priyanka spoke a lot about what you can do with generative AI, what are the solutions that you can build, and what Google Cloud has in store for you. I'm going to talk a bit changing tracks towards more like what you can do as a user using these solutions, and specifically talk about one of our products called Bard. How many of you have used Bard? Okay, how many of you haven't used Bard yet? Come on. So if you haven't used Bard, 2 days back, we recently upgraded Bard to our latest LLM called Gemini. If you haven't heard about Gemini, you can go and read more about at our AI hub. Gemini comes in 3 versions: Gemini Nano, Gemini Pro, and Gemini Ultra. And Bard right now is powered by Gemini Pro. So do give it a shot if you haven't done that yet. Now, why I'm talking about that? At Google, we believe in one thing, that we want to make sure that developers are able to build using AI solutions that we have, but also the users are able to use the UI AI offerings that we already have. So in short, we want to make sure AI is helpful for everyone, right from users to developers like you, right? And also another important aspect that I want to highlight is building responsibly. We talk a lot about AI taking over people, which is of course not going to happen. But you also need to be responsible with the solutions that you are building, what you are building, and also think about the users, because if you haven't built responsibly, or if you haven't kept the best practices in mind, also belongs to the data sets that you have used to build your model. If it is error prone, then your solution is not going to be optimal or what you are expecting. And when the user starts to use it, it would be way different experience than what would you have ought in the beginning while you are building that solution. So bold and responsible together. That's one of the mottos that we have, right? Now let me take a step back. When we launched Google Lens, how many of you have used Google Lens for your day-to-day activities? How many of you really like or enjoy using Lens, right? Gone are the days when you would encounter something, maybe a photograph of a flower, and would have to refer to magazines or books on anthropology or biology to find out which flower that is, right? Right now you can just take your phone out, scan it, and you can get an idea of what that particular flower is. We have hit 12 billion visual searches a month, every month right now, since the day we have launched Google Lens, which is huge, right? How many of you use Google Maps? Okay, how many of you do not use Google Maps? Anybody? Yesterday when I was talking in Gandhinagar, there was this guy who said he doesn't use Google Maps. Pretty astonishing, right? So maps have made lives easier in terms of helping you navigate to the nearest position. Yes, we do take feedback about missing flyovers. And if you are a trusted user, you would have already seen that update where we are helping you navigate through that. If you are not, you will soon get that update once it goes out of, right now it's in beta. Once it goes into general availability, you will be able to experience that feature as well. So you do not miss your flyovers in the future whenever you're using Google Maps. So right from starting to helping you reach from point A to point B, we have reached at a point where we will show you fuel optimal routes. Might be longer, but it will show you the option of you will may save more fuel if you take this longer route, because you are spending less time maybe in traffic, or you are able to drive at an optimal speed, which helps you save more fuel. So far we have mapped 1 million plus buildings globally, as well as in tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. One of the examples is, last week I was in a tier 4 city, I would say that, and I was able to point my camera towards, while using step-by-step or walking navigation on Google Maps, to decide, do I need to take a left and do I need to take a right? And Maps was very well able to, highlight it on maps, like where I am exactly on the navigation that I'm using. So we have come a long, long way. Google Workspace. If you are already using Google Workspace, or you would have noticed a couple of AI features that we started, from autocomplete, where you would just type hi and we would give you suggestions like what could be your next sentence, to helping you write an entire email right now with the help of Do It AI. So yes, we have come a long, long way with that. Advancement in generative AI. So today we have 15 products that serve more than 500 million people and businesses. And this 6 products that is used by everybody I can share you in the room. Anybody who do not use any of these products? Not right. So the next optimal step is, with the advancement that we have done in AI, how can we make sure that all of our products integrate AI into that? So we start right from Android. So if you are using the latest Pixel devices, you would see there's a lot of on-device ML that is happening. And with the Gemini update, Gemini Nano kind of powers all that on-device ML stuff that we are able to achieve in watches, in phones, or whatever hardware device that we have right now. It's available in beta, so you can opt and sign up for that if you are a developer, and see if you are able to get an access to it. Gemini Pro is readily available, so you can definitely try that out. We started with the motto of, we want to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And with that, we have moved to making sure making AI helpful for everyone. In that, it has 4 pillars. One is improve knowledge and learning. Second one is, how do we help you boost creativity and productivity? Third one is, how do we enable others to innovate and grow? And the last one is, how can we help you build and deploy more responsibly? Right. So the first part, improve knowledge and learning. So we came up with what it is called Search Generative Experience. Anybody has tried out SGE? If you haven't, you can go to Google Labs and switch the toggle on for SGE. Once you do that, the search experience kind of start talking to you, right? Here is a classic example where we are doing a search for top 10 e-bikes, and the SGE experience kind of tells you the goods and bads about all the 10 e-bikes or battery powered bicycles that exist, what is the cost for that, and what are the advantages of using that particular e-bikes, right? Another option is, let's say you are somebody who do not want to use the SGE. You don't have to toggle it back off. You can just select the option, I do not want an assistance right now, and you can just use the native search that exists. Along with SGE, we also have code helpers. So you can go and put in Google search. Again, you need to go to labs and switch on that experience. You can put in Google search a code sample, and it will try to help you to how do you meaningfully complete that code sample, or at least link you to the sites where this code sample already exists. While you can do that in Bard already, but what we try to do is take it to the next step, make sure that you have all these options readily available inside the products that you are going to use, right from Gmail, Docs, Slides, Maps, search itself, while everything at the back end is powered by the same framework. So this is a quick slide about Bard. We have it available in 230 plus countries and 40 plus languages. How many of you have tried to talk with Bard in Gujarati? Okay, very few hands compared to when I ask people, have you tried to talk with Bard at all? So yes, you can talk with Bard in Gujarati. If you haven't, do try it out. And if you speak with any other regional languages, we have many languages that are now supported with Bard, Indian regional languages. If you speak any of those languages, you can definitely try and talk to Bard. Another step that we thought that would be helpful for developers is, we have always focused on making sure the experiences that you have is more native, right? And not very foreign to you. And hence, we are committed to make sure that our much more regional languages support that will come to Bard in the near future. Now, this is a chart that we came up with where we want to highlight how you can use Bard or any of these generative experiences for entrepreneurs, professionals, as well as students in the room, right? So, before this example, can anybody tell me what is the most complex example they have solved with the help of Bard? Most complex. Sorry? Coding, okay. Anybody else? The most complex things you have achieved with Bard? Sorry?
I uploaded financials of IPO company and tried to check with like what is the analysis of the entire revenue.
See, there. Okay, so what I'm trying to highlight is while all the solutions are available and we are always, going behind like, does it have the latest LLM or not? But are we able to utilize it? Not much. Very less percentage of user actually are able to do a power, become a power user of that. One of the few use cases that I usually do is to plan out my design documents or create my design documents with a sample that I already have and ask Bard to also fill data into that, right? So at least it helps me with the groundwork. Primary reason, I'm super lazy in creating documents, but I'm very active once I have a skeleton or a boilerplate that exists and can make it up in a few hours, right? So how can you use such assistance to solve your day-to-day problems? That is why it exists. Not for you to try out like, can you solve this, or doing simple mathematical calculations, or searching from search, what is the most complex problem to give a GenAI solution, right? So couple of things here is coding, write code for website apps, providing customer support, analyze data, as you mentioned, right? Give valuable analysis from the data that you have asked the particular solution or the agent to analyze, and can it help you maybe take future product related decisions or product roadmap decisions with what it exists, generating business plans and models, writing reports. So what I'm trying to tell, it can help you from a simple solution to a more complex problem. It depends on you where you want to use it and how you want to use it. Another thing, couple of months back, I was able to have a generative AI conversation with Dave Elliott. He's a staff TA on the generative AI team. You can check this video out by scanning this QR code and see what he has to tell about GenAI and what are the various and vast product suites that we have available for developers. The developers go and try it out. I'll take a 10-second pause if you are planning to scan the QR code. This brings me to the end of my talk. Let's talk more. We can take this conversation further. I am here through most of the day, but if you don't find me, you can talk to me on Twitter or X at _Manoranjan P, and would be happy to have a conversation with you about generative AI, how you can contribute to it, what are the various initiatives that Google has for developers, right from beginner to experts. Or if you are interested with any of our programs, happy to help you, right? So this brings me to the end of my talk. I would pass it on to Utpal.
Thank you, Mano. Let's just show some love for Mano as well. 1, 2,
Okay.
loud. 3, 4, 5, 6, more. You can rise for Mano too. Why not? Let's do it. Woo! Thank you. Please be with us. Is Priyanka still around? Priyanka?
Okay. Well, I have one more thing to tell.
Okay.
You are at a very, very amazing tech event. Why I'm telling you that? Because this is my 5th DevFest Ahmedabad. And I have seen this DevFest evolve over years, starting from a few hundred to what it has become right now. And the content is always amazing. So what they mentioned in the beginning, if you're not able to find seats in a room, there's another room which has more amazing equivalent content. So you can go and listen to that. But the point is you take benefit of throughout the day and have a goal for you being here for the day.
Thank you. Thanks, Mano. Let's do this little routine, cake cutting. Please take your seats. And go after the cake. Yeah, center, always, right? So, they didn't allow any candles. I don't know why. But we are Indians, so we don't like to blow anything. We just like to produce, right? I hope you get the joke. Yeah, please. Padhy, please come. Priyanka, please join us for little cake cutting. Yeah. Do we have the cake? Yeah, Mano, please. Vishal, please join us for this. Yeah, please. Again, on record, cake is not generated by AI. I think that joke is becoming old now. So I'll try to come out with something new.
We can take
Hope you could see this. Do we have a screen? No, live? Nothing? I'll just describe that for you, what it says. It says AI and then Google. Okay. So I like Google, I don't like ChatGPT. Why? Because Google knows me, ChatGPT does not. So that's goal for you. ChatGPT yourself and ask your, like, do you know me? Fine. And the day ChatGPT knows you, give me a call. Okay, can we do this? Yes. Oh, it's with me. Sorry. Yeah, you need that. Yeah. Please. Thank you. Yeah. Some claps, yes. Yeah, people in the back, you can clap too. Yes. I am with you. You guys are like me, last benchers, right? But AI can means anything, right? Ahmedabad International. Oh, okay. So nobody should feel bad. We are not against technology. We are not against advancement. We are highly advanced when it comes to technology. And a lot of events coming up, so do please enjoy. I am not cheerleader for Ahmedabad, but still flower show, kite festival, vibrant Gujarat, right? Oh, hit it for Ahmedabad. Banta hai bhai. Woo! Thank you. So I thank you again, Priyanka and Mano. Please be with us whole day. It's a privilege and honor to have you. I like your book too, On Record. Wish I could buy one if you have that. Thank you for being with us. You can take your seats. So next amazing presentation is from Vishal. So let's make some noise for Vishal. Vishal! अरे जोर से राजा, विशाल! जोर से! अरे भाई, ऐसा नहीं होता है. I'm a bad manager, not a night manager.
Am I audible to everyone? Good. So now it's a big responsibility because now I need to do a justice with the people who are standing from last 60-90 minutes. So we'll try to deliver a talk that you can understand, that you can implement in your real life in next 35 minutes. So before I start my talk, एक चीज़ तो कॉमन है, दो ही चीज़ काफ़ी ज़्यादा ग्रो हो रही है. वन इज़ द एडॉप्शन ऑफ जनरेटिव एआई एंड वन इज़ growth of GDG Ahmedabad. So huge round of applause for every one of you. So let me talk brief about myself. A first generation engineer, a son of a farmer, first computer engineer of my entire family. Started my journey before 11 years as an entrepreneur. Directly after college, started Karasket. It was a consulting company. I ran it for 7.5 years. And then I wind up the company to start Device before 2 years. And now it's kind of a growing company with a lot many developers and all, and we are going to talk about that. But the biggest thing is कि काफी टाइम ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि लाइफ में अचीव क्या किया है. So before 2 years, when we started, we introduced one word, pro code, and people used to question us, what is the pro code? We always listen low code, no code on all. So my journey from starting of introducing a pro code word to what I see in the Google slide, there is one column named pro code. So in a 2 year, it is a word introduced in Surat, get it to a Google presentation. So that's what we achieved. Now let's talk about the innovation, AI and everything. AI is a kind of a buzzword. Every one of us is talking about the AI. It's now a part of our life. But why we need to talk AI in the DevFest? That's the main thing. So what I believe is like world change when there is a big inflection happens or a big change happens. So like there are 4 kind of change that generally happens in the world. One is the adoption. So people start adopting something like a mobile phone. Without mobile phone, Uber can't be possible. So that's kind of an adoption of a mobile phone. So adoption change. TikTokers, content creators won't be there if they don't adopt mobile phone and the internet. The second adoption is the technology. So like in cloud, AI and everything. Then the belief. People has a change in the belief. Like a machine cannot generate the code that human can write. Now that belief has been changed. And the last part is the regulatory, which is not associated with all of us, but it's kind of in COVID, UPI, and everything happens because of regulations has been changed. So ultimately, like there are 4 kind of a big change. Whenever it happens, there is a lots of innovation happens. But what I realize is with the GPT, with the GenAI, the 3 changes happen in the same time. The technology, adoption, and the belief. All these 3 changes happen in a single time, and that's why we are able to see world is changing so fast in the technology side of it. So that's why it's important to talk about the GenAI, and that's why we need to understand how we can adapt it in our daily life. Yeah, so that's why my topic is innovate or stagnate. Why you need to innovate, and understand what is the meaning of an innovate. Innovate is not something every time you come up with out-of-box idea to start your startup or out-of-box idea to deliver your project. Innovate simply means, even if you Google the definition of innovate, it's a new methods. It's a new product or anything that you introduce. So ultimately, a new method can be also an innovation. So now it's time when you adopt new methods of doing your daily jobs, daily work. And that's why you need to understand innovation. If you do not want to change your methods, right now I'm not saying anything, but in my last slide I'm going to answer it. If you want to be in stagnant mode, what will happen to you? Yeah. So the main thing is, will you be a pioneer in the GenAI revolution or get left behind the dust? The reason is, okay, कितने लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि before GPT or Bard, they were used to search lots of things on Google, and now that entire intensity has been reduced. कितने लोगों को ऐसा लगता है? कभी किसी ने सोचा था कि आप सर्च यूज करना बंद कर दोगे अपनी लाइफ में? कभी किसी डेवलपर ने सोचा था आप स्टैक ओवरफ्लो यूज करना बंद कर दोगे? This is the biggest change happen, and that's why you need to innovate your methods, or you will be a part of the dust that no one cares about. And every time you need to think like, okay, so I have a very simple analogy, banana and banana smoothie. I'm not saying people will be jobless. Definitely we will figure out some kind of a job. It's going to be there. But सबको पता है, what is more costlier, banana or banana smoothie? और banana smoothie के ingredients को जोड़ दो तो which will be the more costlier, curd plus banana or banana smoothie? Obviously banana smoothie. So what you need to understand with your skill, if you are not adapting the new methods, you will be kind of a commodity. Definitely you will earn something, but you will not earn enough. That's why you need to change yourself. That's why you need to adapt the new methods. Now, let's talk about the GenAI landscape, because like there are lots of topic around the use cases and everything. So GenAI is kind of a superpower. It's not your enemy. If you adapt the GenAI in your day-to-day life, if you find innovative ways to do your work, you will feel so empowered, and that's how you can increase your happiness, you can increase perfection in your work, you can increase the quality of work, because we know how buggy code we are used to write. And yeah, definitely we are always proud on our code, but back of mind we know what kind of a mess we are dealing with. And on-time delivery. So on-time delivery is not something which we delivered after 10 days of our commitment. It's like on-time means on-time. No overtime that you need to do to deliver your work. So if you accept this kind of a superpower, you can change the entire way of working, entire way of thinking. इसमें से कितने लोग मेरे पास्ट प्रेजेंटेशंस में थे जो मैंने लास्ट जीडीजी में दिया था? फ्यू. आपको याद है मैंने एक पीरियोडिक टेबल दिखाया था उस टाइम पे? That periodic table, so last time I delivered the talk on DevTool space, and I show one periodic table of DevTool companies. This time I have a very similar thing for you, as kind of an GenAI applications in your software development lifecycle. So I created the entire periodic table. So if you can read it out, otherwise I can mention few of the names. Test case generation, documentation of code, code optimization, sprint planning, task planning, and many. So ultimately, within 6 months of work, we are figure out like, okay, this many tasks can be automated or can be automated somehow by GenAI, not the 100%, but if we put the human intelligence and the artificial intelligence together in this kind of a task, all of this task is related to the software engineering. It's none of the task is out of in software engineering part. So this many things you can do. Today, because of I have a limitation of time, I'm going to take few examples how you can change the way you work. So let's talk about the first use case. सब लोग ने साइन अप स्क्रीन का कोड किया है यहाँ पे? साइन अप स्क्रीन का कोड कितने लोगों ने किया है? कितना टाइम लगता है इन जनरल? एनीवन? साइन अप स्क्रीन का कोड लिखने में कितना टाइम जाता है? यार नाश्ता किया है सब गुजरातियों ने? 4 to 8 hours. Really good answer. Whenever you ask a question to a developer, it takes only 4 to 8 hours. But believe me, delivered 200 plus project across 24 countries. आज तक प्रोडक्शन में वो कभी 4 to 8 hours में नहीं गया है. Why? Because we never think about the edge cases. Let me tell you how you can use AI in all your tasks to figure out the edge cases. So this is a first example. In 1 minute, I got 60 plus edge cases to develop your sign-up screen. I know it's not readable to everyone, but I will share it over a LinkedIn or somewhere so you can read it out. These are the edge cases that you need to consider while you are developing a sign-up screen, which may take 1 month, 2 months, or a 3 month of time as well. And because I have the limitation, I'm not able to show you everything in live, but I have the entire scenario, like, okay, in which test case, what you need to do, in which edge case, how you need to do a code. Now I can do the same kind of work within 2-3 days if I'm developing a sign-up screen, putting the GenAI into picture. Manually, it's not possible. That's why we don't care about this kind of an edge cases. So when I talk about the quality, when I talk about the bug-free code, happiness, this is the kind of an happiness that we can deliver if we use GenAI in our day-to-day scenario. Now let's talk about the second use case, technical requirements and estimations. कितने लोगों को estimation देना बहुत बुरा लगता है, बहुत boring लगता है? वाह! Now you all are the developers. Now we experiment few of the things. Now we are not into service, but now if I'm running a service company, what I would do, I will put all the past estimations to LLM. Whenever there is a new requirement from the Upwork or the client, I will use GenAI, and I'm not talking about GenAI when this just Bard or just in ChatGPT. Think beyond it. Think beyond like what kind of data you have, how you can create your custom LLMs and all, even how you can train your data on the LLMs and you can get the answer. So ultimately, if you think through this entire solution, you can eliminate entire need of an estimation. You just need to review it. You just need to tweak it. You don't need to spend your valuable 6 days of time to do estimation, re-estimation, re-estimation, re-estimation. And जब हम deliver करते हैं तब estimation का कुछ भी नहीं होता है. So you don't need to spend a time on your mundane task. That's what I'm saying, and that's how you can increase your happiness. कितने लोगों ने जीपीटी को एक्सेल शीट या डेटाबेस स्कीमा देके क्वेरीज जनरेट किए आज तक? यस, सो वेरी फ्यू हैंड्स. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. वी नो अबाउट GenAI, वी नो अबाउट बार्ड, OpenAI, बट वी आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग इट. And why? That's also I will cover. Why we are not accepting it, that I will cover in the next few slides. So ultimately, you can create such kind of a model. You can use the attach file options and all. You can just give your database schema, and in return, you can have your entire store procedures or whatever you are writing, the database queries and everything. We build few solutions where what we are doing, we are just talking in the natural language. It converted to JSON, query, again that JSON to a natural language, and now user can directly talk with the data in a natural language format, all automated. And this cannot be possible within even a 6 month or a 12 month of timeline. Now this use case is possible within like just 3-4 days. Again, that's in power. How many of you are front-end engineers over here? Designers, front-end engineers? Good. How many of you know the heat map? Good. How many of you exactly know how to do analysis of a heat map? One hand. Two. Great. Now we don't know how to analyze the heat map. No worries. What I did is I just uploaded my heat map image on GPT and I asked like, okay, analyze this heat map and tell me 3 things which I can fix to reduce my bounce rate. Within 30 seconds I got the result. And I can tell you from my own experience, in Gujarat, none of analysts can give you such kind of a result in such a shorter time. And this is not just about the heat map analysis. We are optimizing our UX writing, documentation writing, everything using the GenAI. As I said, like I create the entire periodic table, but the thing is like you just need to start thinking in that direction, and ultimately you can do everything with the GenAI. You just need to optimize. And now, let's come to a part of an adoption. Why we have so much challenges? Why when I ask the question, how many of you are using GPT to write the queries? Only few hands are there. The reason is we don't want to change ourselves. We don't want to change our methods. And the reason is, as a developer, we always want 100% perfect work. So, आप try करोगे GenAI में कुछ input डालने की, अगर answer नहीं आ रहा तो what will be your reaction? हाँ, it's not working. No, you don't need to think like that. You need to think how it can work for you. How you can tweak a little bit of things in the GPT and it will give you a proper result. And just analyze, to do that manual work, you are spending 8 hours of time. With tweaking GPT, you are able to reduce 4 hours of time and still you just need to spend 4 hours. So don't think like it's not working. You need to think how it can work for you. How you can make it happen. बहुत simple सा sentence है, लेकिन जब आप analyze करोगे, it has a lots of depth. Your first reaction whenever you are evaluating any automation tool, it's not working. I can do a better work than that. No, you are not meant for that. You need to use technology so you can do a better work than that. So you need to change this fundamental thinking of evaluating anything. The second part, the prompts available on Twitter is not the GenAI which can solve your work. Only you are the people who can think about your complexity and you need to work on it. So अगर आप सिर्फ Twitter या LinkedIn पे किसी इन्फ्लुएंसर को फॉलो करके सिर्फ उसके प्रॉम्प्ट्स यूज कर रहे हो लिटिल बिट ट्विक करके, कितने लोगों को लगता है कि जीपीटी में आई एम कंसिडर योरसेल्फ एज अ 5 year एक्सपीरियंस डेवलपर लिखने से प्रॉम्प्ट का रिजल्ट चेंज हो जाता है? ट्विटर पे तो यही चल रहा है. सो अल्टीमेटली यू नीड टू रियलाइज how this GPT work, what is the fundamentals behind it, and once you understand it, you will able to see like you are using this superpower in your day-to-day life. Second thing, मैंने काफ़ी लोगों को सुना है कि like okay, this is very basic, it's giving me a repetitive results and all. How many of you use iPhone 3, the first version of the iPhone? Oh, all Gen Z. Oh, You are of my age. How many of you know about the power of iPhone 15 or any whatever phone is available in the market right now? सो गए लगते हैं. हाँ, iPhone 15 का पावर नहीं पता है. ठीक है, Google Pixel का? हाँ, Google इवेंट. ओके, करंट मोबाइल का पावर तो पता है? No worries. So ultimately understand, when iPhone launched their first smartphone or Google launched their first smartphone, वो क्या था versus अभी क्या है. So you don't need to think what is the current state of GenAI. You need to think after 10 years when you all will be the responsible for your families and everything, when you can't afford losing your job, and at that time if GenAI is so powerful, what will happen? Think about it after 10th version of GenAI, of Bard, GPT, Tesla, जो भी कोई बना रहे, how much powerful it will be and how it's going to impact your life. How it's going to impact your work, the way you work. So it's time to find your new love. Why I'm saying the new love? You don't need to change your girlfriend. What I'm saying is like I'm in love with writing the back-end logics and all. That can be replaceable by GenAI. So you need to think how you can work beyond that. So now it's the right time to find your new love, or else you will regret for sure. Like people generally from the big corporates, they cannot put a blunt comment on everyone, but I have nothing to lose, so I can put a blunt comment anyway. So I'm telling you, you will regret if you're not adopting it, and if you are just be with your love and you don't want to change your way. Now, in last presentation, I talk about the dev tool space and all, but this time I'm going to use this stage to talk about my own company device. From last 1 year, there is not any big announcement that happens over the internet or social media and all, but we are also working on lots of innovative things in device. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about device and a very exclusive announcement for this community. So the first thing is, in the last 2 years, we hit 111K plus users on our platform. And this is the power of community. This is purely because of a community. So thanks to every one of you who give us lots of love. Second thing, because of you, we hit the biggest milestone of our life. In last 2 years, we processed 3 million screens on our server. And every day I'm telling you, it's not just 21K plus something. Every day we are processing 20 to 25,000 screens on our server, even on Saturday. The first million screens we took 485 days. The second million screens of this 3 million, we hit it in 168 days. But because of GenAI and the kind of an adoption that we are able to see from the global audience, last million we just hit it in 83 days. And next maybe 1 million we will hit in just 50 days. So that's kind of an adoption that we are getting because of this inflection happens over the world. Now let's talk about a thing that we recently released, but as I said, like we haven't talked much on our social media or anywhere. We haven't released any newsletter. It was a kind of a purposeful thing that we did. But today I want to share few quick updates that has been released on the production server in last couple of quarters. So the first thing that we did is like now you have a support. So initially, whoever knows device, we just had a support of GetX in the Flutter side. Now we have a support of Riverploid, GetX, Block and everything. So now we have the new state managements available for the code generation part. We have a support of TypeScript as well for the React. So I want to share this thing like in the last 1 year, we hired like more than 15 plus data annotation engineers and all. We have now our own data annotation data sets and everything. And using that, like now our accuracy is 85% and we introduced 30 new components on the React and the Flutter side, and that is already live in the production. Now we are able to generate the auto-responsive code for the React. So ultimately you just need to upload the Figma designs and we will give you a responsive code of the React and in the Flutter part with the new state managements and everything. Lots of people talk about like, okay, last year when we presented, like our code quality was not that good. We was in beta and still we are in beta, but in last 1 year, that's why we are not doing any releases in the last couple of quarters. We improved a lot on the code quality, which you can check. And if you already use device and if you have any feedback about the code quality and everything, I request you to visit our booth and talk to our team like where we improved in terms of code readability, code modularity and everything. And the last part is, last year we got a lots of feedback about the privacy and everything. So now I can tell you, we are the only company in Gujarat in the DevTool space who are GDPR, SOC 2 and ISO compliant. So now we are taking care of all kind of privacy parameters that is taken care by big companies like Jira, ClickUp or whatever you are using. So now we are working on the same kind of standards. And these are not just acclaimed by us, actually it given to us by some companies who give it to all these big companies. So now we are certified with the GDPR, SOC 2 and ISO. Now the biggest thing, Wise GPT, on which we are working from last 9 months. As I talk about the prompts, GenAI and everything, but the biggest thing is still people are struggling with writing the prompts and all. So we work on some technology named the Wise GPT, and from last 9 months we are working on it, where we are going to change the entire way people work with their programming part. So let's talk about what is the Wise GPT. So now we are moving from a web platform, which is app.device.com, to a complete IDE platform, which is in Wise GPT. So now you don't need to switch between two platforms. Wise GPT is going to deliver all things that we have available on the app.device.com, and it works inside your IDE. So even you can upload your Figma designs inside your IDE, and you will get a code, everything inside your IDE only. Second thing, you don't need to work with a promptless. We call it a world's first GenAI, promptless generative AI for the programming part, where there is no prompt. And every time you will get the accurate result and with your context and everything. So we will give you a live demo of how it works, but ultimately it's going to be 100% promptless, so you don't need to worry about your language, how you understand the prompts and all. We are going to eliminate that entire process of writing the prompt. Automated code merging, so it's no more a copy-paste of your code files. Like you need to do a chat in ChatGPT or a Bard and just do a copy-paste of things. We will give you entire automated code merging. So ultimately when you click on something, any of our feature, it will generate end-to-end code in the multiple files, and it will auto-merge it, and you just need to accept it in the differential view. That's it. So we are going to have that in Wise GPT. Few more things. The biggest thing with everyone when they are using any kind of GPT is, what is security of my code? So we build such kind of algorithms which works offline. So you don't need to put your repository on any GPT. If you are using the Wise GPT, we'll do entire analysis offline in your PC. We are not storing any of your code on our server. And in our recent experiments, what we see is like we are able to analyze a code with a 1 million kind of token size very efficiently in your offline environment within like 30-45 seconds, and we will generate the exact result that you are able to write. So as I said, like no size restrictions on your repository. Doesn't matter how big your repository is, just install the Wise GPT. We'll do an entire offline analysis, and whenever you use any of the feature, we'll generate the entire identical code for you without limit of like 120K token limits, 84 or whatever you are using. No knowledge cutoff. So biggest thing when you are working with the GPTs, the thing is like, okay, it does not support the latest library versions and all. With the Wise GPT, we are going to solve that problem forever. We will have all latest libraries available on our server. Even with the Flutter, you can see, anytime Flutter releases the new version, within like 1 month, we are able to roll it out a new version of Flutter on our platform. So you don't need to deal with a legacy code or anything which is not available on any GPT models. So there is no cutoff date for us. And this is the biggest thing, code personalization. So it's not just another co-pilot which will suggest you just in code snippets and all. Again, what we are trying to build is not another co-pilot, it will be a clone of engineer himself. So whenever you will use Wise GPT, will generate such kind of code which will be exactly identical to your pattern. And whenever we are at the mature stage, you will not able to identify which is a code generated by the machine and which is the code that you written yourself. So even if your code has bugs, it will generate the bugs. Just kidding. But we have lots of check and balances in between, but we are working on a very high personalization code. Again, zero prompt. That's the biggest thing. You don't need to explain entire code structure to a GPT. That will do it at ourselves. Smart repository data abstraction. So how we are achieving this personalization of code by analyze your every pattern, like how you are doing the API calls, if it's already available in your repository and everything. And we extract exact data to do our analysis, which we call a metadata, and we will generate the exact code that you required. Now, this is the kind of a notorious thing. Everyone avoid live demo on stage. But मेरे पास, as मैंने जैसे बोला, मेरे पास खोने के लिए कुछ है नहीं. तो अगर कुछ फटता है, तो it's a developer's job. I am responsible for that, but we are going to show you the live demo. जितनी भी बात मैंने बोली है कि how it's going to work inside your IDE. So yes. Now, before we move to a WiseGPT demo, I want to tell you one thing. With the device, you can only use us whenever you have the new project. With WiseGPT, we are going to change it forever. You can use WiseGPT powered by device at any point of time. So let's say device is a Figma to code platform, and then we have the API integration functionality. So people are saying like, okay, we already have the UI code, how we can use device in our ongoing development. That wasn't possible before WiseGPT. But now I'm giving you a demo where we already have a sign-in code, and it's written by someone else. It's not generated by device platform. Where we use, I think it's not readable, I know, but I'm just explaining what is going on the screen. So we use like DO library in this API calls and everything. So I'm showing you the structure of the existing code and then how you can use the WiseGPT. So now let's say if I want to integrate one more API inside this call. Yeah, so this is a sign-in screen. Again, वापस से UI का code already हो चुका है. I just come on the WiseGPT. So yes, this is not a video. My team member is doing a demo from there. And now it's not working. Not WiseGPT, screen. Okay, so now you just need to click on the API integration. So we have a functionality from where you can upload your Postman collection or a curl file. And if you already have a Postman collection in your project, then you don't need to select it. You can directly see all the endpoints, and you just need to hit the login. So right now we are doing the login. Yeah, so you can click on that and proceed. Within 30-45 seconds, we will analyze your entire code base and we will generate. There is no prompt. We just analyze your code and we generated the entire API integration code within few seconds. And now this is a diff view where you can see there is an existing code already there, and we identify where we need to merge this code. So ultimately, like, okay, this is the new code that we generated for the entire function, and it's exactly identical to your files which you already had in your, so ultimately we use the same functions and everything. And you can just accept it. Now this is another file. So this is a new file that we generated. So that's why I'm saying it's not just copy paste of the code. We take entire thing into context and we generate multiple files of code for your API integration which is required in your flow. So yes, this is the third file. And then we have a feature where you can accept all the codes in a one click. So ultimately you can accept the individual files. You can do this thing. And within 45 seconds, we integrate the entire sign-in API in front of you. Just one disclaimer, I don't want to hide anything. So because we have a limitation of time, I just had a 6 minute. Generally API, the code generation takes 2 to 3 minutes of time, but we have a cache functionality. So ultimately so there is a problem. If you hit same prompt every time, it changes the result. But we solve it in the WiseGPT. If you hit the same API again, and if code is already there, we are just taking the cache result. So it will not change every time if you already accepted it. So here I show it from the cache. That's why it happens in 3 to 4 seconds. Otherwise, in general, right now we are able to achieve the entire result within 2 to 3 minutes. But this is the live demo that I showed to you. And with this, our consistency of live demo is like more than 150. So in all the events, we generally show the live demo, and every time it works, thanks to my team. Okay, so now let's move forward with just a summary of what you see over here. So we will have so I'm going to give you a glimpse of this and completely exclusive announcement for this GDG. So we have few things that is already we built, and I'm going to talk about like in the next 1 year, what will happen in the WiseGPT, what you are going to see. So API integration we already developed, and we are going to roll it out very soon. Then personalized UI code is already there. So in device, when you upload the Figma design, we are generating the same kind of a code for everyone, even if a fresher developer, if it's a big company, TCS or whoever is using it. With WiseGPT, we are going to analyze your pattern of defining the components, your themes and everything, And when you will upload the Figma design, you will get highly personalized UI code from your Figma using your components, design systems, and everything inside the Wise GPT. That's going to be released very soon. So ultimately, I'm talking about the next 1 year, what you will expect in the Wise GPT, and how it's going to change entire way of working. And that's why I put the comment, a technology for today's developer for tomorrow's work. So that's what I mean by that. प्रोएक्टिव डिपेंडेंसी डिस्कवरी. कितने लोगों को लगता है प्रोडक्शन में कोड जाने के बाद फटता है? बाकी सब लोग बहुत बहादुर है. आई कैन हायर एवरीवन. जो क्लेम करता है हाँ बट प्रोडक्शन में जाने के बाद फटता है तो देन आई विल डिडक्ट द एंटायर सैलरी एज वेल. जस्ट किडिंग. ओके, सो वी नो दिस फट गया मूवमेंट एज वेल एज व्हेन समवन टच अवर कोड. भाई तू रहने दे, मैं कर लेता हूँ. Because they don't know how much dependencies are there when they are writing on the live project code, the production level code. With Device, we are going to change that entire way of working. Because Device understand your entire code context and everything. We will proactively tell you, if you touch this code, you need to change another 5 files and you cannot ignore it. And we will also share the suggestions where you need to do what kind of changes. That's what I mean by proactive dependency discovery. Crashlytics driven bugs resolution. So ultimately, you know, Crashlytics, Sentry or whatever you are using, वहाँ पे code, वहाँ पे bugs चलते रहते हैं. We don't care. हमारे sprint में जितना है हम उतना deliver करेंगे, ठीक है? But now you don't need to worry about it. We will have a Sentry, Crashlytics logs inside your ID. You just need to click it on that. We will figure out where the bug is and we will fix it automatically. So ultimately, you just need to review it and we will fix all the bugs that happens during the production that you get in the Crashlytics and the Sentry or this kind of a tool. Seamless library translation support. So ultimately we know the biggest problem is when there is a deprecated library and when you want to upgrade the version because you are not delivering any new thing. और जितने लोग यहाँ पे सर्विस कंपनीज चलाते हैं उनको अपने क्लाइंट के साथ ये सबसे ज़्यादा होता होगा. अब डिलीवर्ड क्या कर रहे हो? कुछ भी नहीं. Then what are you doing? We are just changing the version of this library. What will happen with this? Nothing. Because someone in the open source deprecate the library and then I need to change it. क्योंकि customer समझता ही नहीं है अपना. So ultimately you don't need to worry about it. You can just offer it complimentary. Because Device will handle it with a few clicks. So we are going to give that kind of support in the next 1 year. And the last part is the native fusion. And what we mean by the native fusion is we are going to give you a native integration of APIs like Shopify, Magento, Strapi, WordPress and everything. So with this, you just need to authenticate with the Shopify. If you have the UI file available, we will do the entire project integration, your product listing page, your home page or whatever it is within like this. नहीं बजा, sorry यहाँ पे बजाना पड़ेगा. So ये नहीं कभी-कभी ऐसा होता है, but हमारे साथ Wise GPT के साथ ऐसा नहीं होगा. So ultimately we are going to give this kind of a native integration of SDKs and APIs to every one of you. We already got 10K plus early sign up request on the Wise GPT page. We are going to roll out with the first 5,000 users in the next January, where we are not going to have all these features because it's the next 1 year of roadmap. But with the 5,000 users, we are going to roll it out in the February. The public rollout of Wise GPT with a few features will happen in the April 2024. And because I'm saying this date upfront to everyone, it's going to happen. Where we will be officially out of beta. So Device is in beta, but with the April 2024 release, we are going to move out of beta. And the biggest thing, we want to build it with you guys. So you can visit our booth. You can see what is happening. You can share your feedback. So ultimately, we want a kind of a design partner. If you think we can solve any of your pain or a problem, you can visit our booth. You can talk to my CTO. Everyone is there. We have directors. So ultimately, you can talk to them and you can discuss like what you think Wise GPT can solve for you, and we will actively listen it. Definitely, we cannot listen the voice of thousands of people, but whoever really can contribute, they can just come and they can discuss with us, and we will work with you. We will give you early access of a Wise GPT to you. So that's going to be there. Till now, any questions? Anyone? Questions होंगे तो बाहर पूछना, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ये लोग अलाउ नहीं करेंगे. But काफ़ी टाइम बाद स्टेज मिला है, तो छोड़ने का बहुत ज़्यादा मन नहीं कर रहा है. So we have few more things for you on the GPT. It's not over yet. काफ़ी सारी रिक्वेस्ट लास्ट टाइम भी हमको मिली थी. So we work on that. In the next 1 quarter, what we are going to release on Device or a Wise GPT page, we got the request for the Next.js and the React Native. Within a quarter is going to be available. So you can convert your Figma code to Next.js. You can convert your Figma designs to a React Native using the Wise GPT in the next 1 quarter. Then Device GPT. अब ये क्या बला है? सब लोगों को Chat GPT यूज करना पसंद है और हमें आप लोग दो. So ultimately we bring the entire capabilities of device inside the GPT. So you can see it in a quick video. You just need to put your Figma URL, what you want to generate. So ultimately Figma URL token, state management, and we will give you the entire screen code inside the GPT. So you don't need to move outside. So काफी लोगों को complain है हम ये support नहीं करते, वो support नहीं करते. So let me show you what you can do with our generated code. We are not supporting GraphQL right now. So just put a prompt and you will get the GraphQL code. We are not supporting, let's say, material design library, for an example. If you want to change, put another prompt and you will get the material design. So ultimately, whatever conversational thing that you want to do with your chat is going to be available on Device GPT, and we are going to roll it out in just a couple of weeks. It's already there. We just show you the live demo of it. Because of time restriction, I put the video. But now Device will work inside your GPT as well. And you can see when you will upload the image, a screenshot, and if you ask GPT to give you the code, what bad quality of code you will get, versus here we are using Device algorithms and APIs to build it entire thing, so you will get a very high accurate code inside Device GPT. And yes, the biggest thing, the playground. So many of you will think like I don't have a paid license of GPT. And right now, custom GPTs are only available for the paid users. We are going to create a playground for you on our website. So on our website, you can just upload your Figma URL on the playground and you will get everything. So ultimately, we are going to replicate all the features that we are going to provide you inside the GPTs, which is only for the paid user. Free users can use that thing on our website. So we take care of everyone. Then marketplace. So what is there for the developers from where they can make the money? So we are going to announce the marketplace where you can upload your codes, designs and everything, and people will purchase it. And from beginning we are talking about this like we are a community driven company. So we are not going to charge any commission if you earn money from Device except your payment gateway fees. So it's your design, everything is yours. If someone is buying it out, you will get the complete money. So we are not going to charge anything from our marketplace, just in payment gateway fees. So it's purely for the community. Support of Chakra design, and we are going to introduce few more design systems as well. Now, as I said, like we are working on such kind of an algorithms which already delivered 85% of the accuracy. In the 1 quarter, we are going to hit the 95% of the accuracy. And the biggest thing like that we realized in the past 1 year, when designers do not design a good Figma, when they mess up with the grouping and all, we are not able to generate the good quality code. But we eliminate that entire process. Even if your designer mess up with your designs, still we will deliver the good quality code to you. And that's what is going to release in the next 1 quarter. And this is the last part. If you are a lover of Figma dev mode, we are going to be there as well. So wherever you are, we will be there. Vodafone ka doggy. Not like that. But ultimately, we understand the developers, where they spend their time, how they do a work. So we don't want to force you to change your workflows. Wherever you work, we will be there. We will provide you a support over there. And that's it from my side for the today. And as I said, I will tell you in last. Definitely AI will not replace the job. But someone using the AI will definitely do that. And that's why you need to change your methods. That's it. Thank you for being a great audience. Thank you so much.